the Raiders are going to be all over that quarterback.
And the Chicago Bears and Jim Harbaugh will get a chance first as they've won the toss and will receive. Art Shell's Raiders are 4-3 in the AFC West. And Dave Wannstedt, the former defensive coordinator with the Dallas Cowboys, 3-4 here in Chicago. Jager's kick sends Curtis Conway, the #1 pick out of the University of Southern California, back for the touchback. And here comes Harbaugh, who played at the University of Michigan, son of a football coach. Dad at Western Kentucky. Ozine Bortzline has been much maligned and harassed by the opposing defenders. Harbaugh has veteran Neil Anderson and Ironhead in the backfield with him. Conway and Waddle start outside. Keith Jennings is the tight end. The wind in this first quarter into the face of Harbaugh and the Bears. It's Anderson, 3 times 1,000-yard rusher for the Bears, but he's struggled of late, and it's Nolan Harrison dropping him for a loss. The defense in white for the Raiders. Veteran Howie Long on another Pro Bowl course. McLaughlin and Harrison, 2 youngsters inside. Greg Townsend starts, and we will see Anthony Smith replacing him with 11 sacks. Wallace, Kelly, and Moss are the linebackers, and the secondary, McDaniel and Washington, Hoskins, and Anderson. James Trapp, a rookie from Clemson, comes in as the nickelback. Harbaugh in a pass situation, play action and a roll. And he has Waddle on the sidelines for a first down. 13 yards, Terry McDaniel makes the tackle.
Dick, we were warned that the Bears were going to do a little rolling out to avoid the pass rush. Harbaugh with a good play action fake. Waddle with the out. Nice little lane there for Harbaugh to make the completion. That does an awful lot psychologically for the Chicago Bears, just to get away from the rush, give Harbaugh just a little bit of time.
Waddle's 24th catch of the year. He leads the Bears now. Harbaugh to Anderson, tripped up at the 35-yard line. Lionel Washington covering Nolan Harrison's original hit. 2nd down and 8.
Dick, it's interesting. There's been a lot of conversation about this Bear football team offensively. The quarterback has not had a lot of time to throw it, but yet the fans say it's his fault. The running back has not had much running room, and yet it's his fault. It appears to me that this is a young, learning offensive line. That's the big problem here.
Totally rebuilding the offense is the #1 challenge of Wannstedt. His defense is tough. Offside was Harrison, and we'll see if he's drawn off. Wannstedt, who has already made some changes in the past week. Anthony Morgan released, picked up by Green Bay. Veteran Tom Thayer cut.
Encroachment, 74 defense.
Waddle right. Conway left. Anderson has the first down and more to the 49-yard line. A 9-yard pickup. And we welcome those of you who have been watching the Steelers and the Bengals. The Steelers fell behind early but rallied for a 24-16 win. And this is Dick Enberg. Chicago. Bob Trumpy. The Bears and the Raiders. And the opening drive of this game, late afternoon sun, temperature near 40 degrees. Much better than had been anticipated by folks here along Lake Michigan. Neil Anderson trying to twist out of several white jerseys, and Howie Long there to hang on. Greg Townsend as well. Jay Lewenberg, you see 58 there coming. We talked with him yesterday about the problems of that offensive line, and Lewenberg, a natural center, is playing out a tackle, and bad parentage. He says, my arms are too short.
He would have, had he not gotten hurt the final preseason game, he would have started at center. Because he was hurt in the final preseason game, kind of sat on the bench, and then he starts at right tackle, not his natural position.
2nd down and 13, and a draw to Anderson, and he's back to the 49. That'll bring up 3rd down and 10. And we'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Broncos and the Browns. Denver loves to play at Cleveland, and Elway and company record a 29-14 victory today. This is the opening drive here at Soldier Field in Chicago. The Raiders and the Bears. Chicago facing a 3rd down 10 at their 49.
And Dick, this is the one situation that the Bears want to try to avoid all day. 3rd down and long.
This is where Anthony Smith comes in for the Raiders with his 11 sacks. That's him chasing Harbaugh. Incomplete. Curtis Conway was the intended target. They'll have to punt. We go to New York. All right, Jim. So Buffalo, Miami now playing at New York against the Jets, the other team in the NFL with only one loss starting this weekend. Chris Gardaki's left-footed spiral sends Tim Brown back to the 8-yard line. And he's covered at the 11. The Bears are the best in the league in kick coverage, punts and kickoffs. Number 54, Ron Cox, the backup linebacker, with a stop. The Raiders take the field, their first possession. And Jeff Hostetler at quarterback will have Perry, Wisniewski and most of our Pro Bowlers. Montoya playing his 202nd game in Wilkerson on the line. Greg Robinson, the rookie from Northeast Louisiana. Smith, the blocker. Brown and right outside, and Ethan Horton, the tight end. It's Steve Smith, the rare carry for him. And the big guy from Penn State rumbles for a 1st down to the 23. He's gained only 46 yards rushing all year.
Excellent job up front, but they went to the soft spot of the defense. Inside Dent, outside Zorich. Excellent lead block by Greg Robinson, who is normally the running back. And that's a nice quick opener for more than 10 yards. 12 for Steve Smith, who you said a rare carry. I mean, he's one of the premier blocking backs there is in the league.
That's his longest rush of the year. In fact, the longest by any Raiders, 17. This is Robinson getting outside. Breaks away from Wolford and picks up another 3. It'll be 2nd and 2. The Bears defense has improved week by week and now ranks 6th in the NFL. Armstrong, the veteran McMichael, Zorich, Richard Dent, the pass rusher, Smith, the ex-Cowboy, Dante Jones, and Joe Keane, the linebackers. Donnell Wolford, they say here in Chicago, as good as any corner in the league. Lincoln may be picked on. He starts his 2nd game. Gale and Carrier, 2 tough-hitting safeties. Mangum and Douglas come in the dime. Smith to the 33. It'll be close to a 1st down. Dante Jones and others on the stop.
Now, Dick, this Los Angeles Raider offense has always been a threat to run the football. Throughout this season, they've had great difficulty. Art Shell last night told us that along with finishing their blocks, they're going to try to widen their splits a little bit to spread out the defense, give their running backs just a little more room. This opening drive, they're running the ball very well. That's another 1st down.
The Raiders are averaging only 3 yards per rush this year.
And look at the size of the splits here between the guards. The tackle. That's a major change in the way the Raiders normally set up. To this point, it's a very positive sign for the Raiders running game.
All right, the defensive coordinator for the Bears sees that. What does he do to counter?
He slants more. You give a predetermined move to your front 4.
On 1st down, Hostetler, big hole for Robinson. Skips outside. He's to the 46-yard line. Another Raider 1st down. All on the ground. 3 consecutive 1st downs on their opening possession. 13 on that play. And we welcome those of you who have seen the dramatic comeback by the Buffalo Bills to go 7-1. Bill Parcells' Patriots gave them all they could handle, but in overtime, 13-10 at Christie Field goal for Buffalo. And boy, have they had a record first half of the season. Buffalo, the last 6-7 years, 7-1, 6-2 is a bad start for them. They're cooking again. First possession for the Raiders on the 1st down play to Smith, and for the first time on this drive by the Raiders, the Bears able to stuff them on a run. Staying strictly on the ground. Hostetler handing off to Smith, and Robinson has picked up 3 1st downs. Bears got the kickoff. They took it out to midfield and had to punt. And this is the Raiders' first chance.
And if you've not seen the Chicago Bears this year, this defense is going to look an awful lot like the Dallas Cowboys. It is the exact same defense, same philosophy, same formation, everything.
Napoleon McCallum comes into the backfield for the Raiders. He has not carried the ball in 2 years. Not this year nor last. Hostetler's first pass wide open. The tight end Ethan Horton, and a first down at the 40. Jeremy Lincoln made the stop, a 12-yard gain.
Horton, another one of those converted running backs. Look, a free release off the line of scrimmage. I don't know when they started doing this in the NFL, but it certainly made a lot of these tight ends a lot bigger factor in the passing game. Now, granted that you want to get to the quarterback, but Jim Dent went right by Ethan Horton. Free release, easy completion for a first down.
It's the Todd Christensen rule. Todd was the one who put that in. Says you can't stuff me at the line of scrimmage. Napoleon McCallum, that had to seem strange to the great player at the Naval Academy. McCallum, who has been reduced to a special teamer with the Raiders, his first rush in a couple of years. He, in 1985, set an NCAA record all-purpose yards, over 7,100 yards in a season for the Middies.
And then he left and was assigned to a helicopter carrier, the USS Peleliu, and used to come back and forth and play a little bit for the Raiders and then go back in the Navy.
Hostetler has thrown once, and he hits again. Horton, the tight end, close to a first down. And we welcome those of you who have seen the Seahawks and Houston, and a big win for the Oilers, 24-14. This is Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy. Soldier Field, Chicago. Each team with a possession. The Bears took the opening kickoff. Was stopped at the 49, had to punt. The Raiders on the touchback. Well, actually, they took the ball out to the 11 on a Tim Brown punt return to their own 11, and have marched primarily on the ground to the Bears' 31-yard line. This is a critical 3rd and 1. And the handoff to McCallum. McCallum, the first lieutenant, has a first down on a rare opportunity. He picks up 10 yards.
Well done. They had the tilt offense in there. 64, Todd Pete playing a tight end. Good block on Trace Armstrong, 93. 35, Smith, good lead block. And McCallum, as you said, very few carries over the last 2 years. Fresh and very happy to get a few carries here in the first drive.
Well, on a team that's averaging 3 yards a carry this season, second worst in the league. McCallum now sporting a 10-yard average. And here comes the rookie Greg Robinson, and another healthy chunk of yardage. And for a team that's been maligned in regard to their ability to move on the ground, the Raiders very impressive on this opening opportunity.
Dick, in part, it's got to be those line splits. Another good lead block by 35 Smith on 59 Kane. Big hit by Mark Carrier. Young man out of USC. People out in the Southern California area remember him playing for the Trojans.
Jeff Hostetler sets his line, another 2nd and short. And Smith gets only a yard. Steve Smith. And it'll be 3rd and 2. Joe Kane played his ball at Oregon Tech, made the stop.
This is interesting. Last week we know that let's see what we got here.
Richard Dent, this last play.
That's Gerald Perry. He's facing Perry. One of the best kept secrets, I think. Whoop, Richard Dent offended a little bit. Gerald Perry, don't do that. That's it. No, don't get in there, Mr. Official. Stay out of the way of those two guys.
3rd and a long yard and a half. And Smith stopped. So they go to the fullback, and Steve Smith, who doesn't get many opportunities to run the ball, has been used often on this drive, but doesn't make it this time. And on comes the field goal unit for Art Shell's Raiders.
Even though the drive is stopped, that's got to be very encouraging for Art Shell. They ran the ball beautifully in that drive, Dick.
Jeff Jager having another solid season, 13 out of 15, his longest 53 yards. And this will be just inside 32 yards. Officially 31. Gossett holds. And Jager, wind and all, nails it down the middle. The Raiders take the early lead. 3:02 remaining opening quarter. yards, so they average 5.7 per carry.
That's a great start for any football team.
Jeff Jagger to kick it off. Curtis Conway, a terrific collegiate returner. He's been banged up a bit, bad shoulder, and he won't get a chance here. Kicking with the wind. The Bears get the touchback at the 20 and a timeout with 2:57 left in the opening period. Field of the city with broad shoulders. Mike Ditka's hometown. I wonder if he's going through a quiver or two as he watches his former players here today.
Yeah, here in Chicago, they don't call him Ditka. He's Dicka. Mike Dicka.
Iron Mike, and they got Iron Head in the backfield. And that was the switch there. Anderson smothered at the 20. Anderson carried 5 times in the first series for Chicago, gained only 12 yards.
And this was the scene on the sideline during that last break we had there. This is Clarence Brooks, the defensive line coach. Wanstead, the head coach, being very demonstrative. The entire defense there, and those line splits causing problems for the Bears defense. He's going to fix it now, he says.
Meanwhile, no gain on first down for the Bears, and Harbaugh, who threw 2 passes in the first possession, both rollouts to try to get away from that Raider pass rush pressure. Raiders are second in the league with 27 sacks. The Saints 29. Underneath Anderson, and Winston Moss just had a free lick on him.
Boy, there is nothing there. I mean, you can see the pressure coming on Harbaugh. Howie Long inside. Anderson, I got a feeling that there was supposed to be a screen man out there in front of him, an offensive lineman. The lineman didn't make it.
And Moss with a 2-yard deficit on the pass completion. From Tampa Bay for a couple of draft picks 2 years ago. 3rd and 12. Fred Franks, the former Miami Dolphin, in the game. Harbaugh goes down at the 15, and it was Greg Townsend who was there first. Anthony Smith to clean up. Townsend with his 5th sack of the year.
Now you can't blame that on the quarterback or the receiver. Here's Townsend. You watch when Harbaugh drops 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets, and Townsend is there. And we talked about Leuenberg, 58 Jay Leuenberg. Townsend, a great outside pass rusher, just beat Leuenberg around the corner.
And Gardocki now, the left-footed kicker, to Tim Brown, one of the better return men. Fair catch called by Brown at the Bear 47-yard line. Just over a minute left in the first period. The Raiders with the ball and the lead. The fiercest game that I think I've ever seen. These two teams, they were knocking people. They were carrying them out of here. The quarterbacks, that was when Jim McMahon was injured, lost for the year, and Mark Wilson and David Humm, his replacement, knocked out. Ray Guy was almost the quarterback for the Raiders. Hostetler down the middle. Incomplete at the 30-yard line, intended for Horton, who has the 2 catches for the Raiders thus far, and Hostetler under pressure.
Through the grapevine, heard this week that Jeff Hostetler established a new, it's Chris Zorich right in the chest, but Jeff Hostetler established a new NFL record last Wednesday in Los Angeles. He was in a training room with 7 ice bags on him.
That is
7 ice bags.
Running into a bumblebee nest. Everything hurts. Robinson on a quick toss. And he stopped right at the sticks by Vincent Smith. Robinson, the leading Raider rusher, 264 yards coming in.
Dick, they're not doing anything fancy here. You see Kane, 59, commit to the outside. Robinson cuts it inside. Vincent Smith, 55, has to come from all the way across the field to make the tackle. Whatever Wanstead and the defensive line coach told him to do in the last time they were sitting on the bench, it hasn't worked.
9-yard average for Robinson, who now is at an even 300 for the year. Hostetler underneath, incomplete. Whoa! And that ball flying around where it could have been picked off by a number of players. Donnell Wolford on the coverage.
Looked like it was Rocket Ismail it was intended for. Watch Hostetler. He pumps this thing about 4 or 5 times. I think he's waiting for the tight end, 88, Ethan Horton. And then, oh, that comes right up the shoulder pads and is fair game for everyone.
Zorich almost had a shot at an interception. So Jeff Gossett in to punt. Terry Obie stands at the 10-yard line. Gossip lines it over Obi's head and then into the end zone. So to the 20-yard line on the touchback. The Bears will have it when we return. 19 seconds left in the quarter.
38 yards.
But he's been unplugged. The Fridge, 9 years in the league, and found. Oh yeah, that did bounce over there in the corner. But the Fridge inactive today, a sign of the times. Dave Wanstead is going to bring different players into the purple and orange of the Bears. Anderson in the final play of this first quarter doesn't get much again. And the Fridge now just offering emotional and moral support on the sidelines. End of one at Soldier Field. The Raiders with a field goal lead. Acquired from New Orleans as a free agent. They say he's 290 in the program.
Yeah, right.
Iron head, and I don't know what metallurgical allusion we can make to the rest.
We got time here, Dick.
Chicago with 20 total yards. Now Anderson caught just as he was breaking into the clear by Aaron Wallace. Now Anderson had some open field ahead, but denied. That'll bring up a third down.
I'm almost afraid to say this, but I have witnesses. Yesterday at practice, the Bears have a Saturday walkthrough. That's all they do. They come in their street clothes and they go to their walkthrough. Harbaugh goes underneath center, says blue 26, blue 26. Ironhead moves, and so does his chocolate covered donut.
Then a play later, seen licking his fingers to get the last remnants of that wonderful AM treat.
A little energy. You know, that's what he needed, energy.
Film at 11. Raiders not fooled at all by the draw on 3rd and long. Nolan Harrison to make the tackle. He's had a big first half. 4th down and 7.
And Dick, the Bears fans are booing, but we were told by everybody on the offense they have very few running plays. The Bears don't have a lot, and the lead draw is one of their big ones. It's going to work sometimes. That time it didn't.
Gardocki with the win. Brown waves the fair catch at the Raider 43, and then he's run into, and that'll be a penalty. Number 25, Johnson. And there is apparently another little scuffle upfield.
Well, as we're giving things out, I think Tim Brown ought to get an Oscar for that, the end of that hit.
Keyshawn Johnson, a rookie from Arizona, couldn't quite stop in time. Gordon McCarter, the man in the white hat today in Chicago.
Fair catch interference. Number 25 kicking team after the fair catch. 15 yards, first down.
The 2-yard line after the 15-yard penalty for running into Tim Brown on the punt. And running into people. Robinson, then he spins outside and stopped at the 40, but he got a couple out of nothing. Trace Armstrong, Alonzo Spellman also in on the tackle. Spellman seeing some duty now from Ohio State.
Does an excellent job of bouncing outside. You can see all 3 linebackers are there. Robinson keeps his wits about him. Donnell Wolford, 21, helps. Spellman finally on the tackle. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Chicago Bears change their defense to accommodate these wide splits. Look at those wide eyes by Alonzo Spellman.
2nd and 8. Mitch Robinson again tripped up after a yard gain. Good play inside by the Bears. Dante Jones submarining, and Albert Fontenot also in on the play. Evidence of that too.
Much to the surprise of Nolan Harrison, who is a comic book fanatic.
And a great catch by James Jett. No, they say trapped it. James Jett, who has been one of the bright new faces in this league, an Olympian gold medal winner, 4x100, and he's got 11 catches, 29 yards, and that ball slipping through his fingers, and it didn't touch the ground. That was a tough call.
Yes, it was, and the official was right there underneath the reception to make the call. Lincoln was the man in coverage. Yeah, it did slip through. He told us last night he spent several weeks working out in the offseason with Jeff Hostetler out in West Virginia. They both lived there. Really helped him a great deal.
Well, 3-0, and Gossett to punt. He slides one to the right, trying to hit the coffin corner, and does. What a kick. That's like line drive down the left field line. Whoa. And it's out of bounds at the 3 with 12:04 left in the first. The Raiders have had the field advantage. Chicago has stopped them 3 and out the last 2 times. From the 3-yard line, Harbaugh. Own end zone, wide open, but Anderson cuts in to intercept. Eddie Anderson to the 5 and denied the touchdown, out of bounds at the 2. It appeared Curtis Conway was open down the sidelines, but Anderson, playing deep center field, cut over to make the steal.
Perfect defensive call by the Los Angeles Raiders. You're going to see Harbaugh with a little play action fake. It doesn't fool anybody. And Eddie Anderson saying, wait a minute, no, it's not supposed to happen this way. That's a double rotation zone. You had the corner up Washington, and Eddie Anderson just rotated out there, and the ball kind of got out of the round, looked into the wind. Never really got to the receiver. Nolan Harrison with Mr. Harbaugh. Whoops.
Hayward, his own man, got him. They say out of bounds Anderson, his 2nd interception of the year, inside the 2. So the first turnover, and Hostetler has Smith and McCallum, and it's Napoleon McCallum with a touchdown. McCallum, for those of you who joined us late from other games here on NBC, had not carried all of last year nor this year, and did get a carry in the first quarter and now has a touchdown.
Eddie Anderson set it up. Harbaugh made the throw, but watch the excellent blocking by Steve Smith up front. Actually, he misses everybody. I take it back. Steve Smith didn't make contact with anybody.
Yeah, and you're one of those guys that like the instant replay. Now you've just turned another one against him.
A great job by the offensive line. Eddie Anderson.
And one play later, McCallum, Lieutenant McCallum, scores. Well, the Raiders have been searching for someone to run the football, and they go to the veteran from Navy. Jaeger adds the extra point, and Anderson's interception leads to a quick 7, and with 11:49 left in the half, it's the Raiders by 10. Battle of the unbeaten next Saturday, Florida State and Notre Dame. Raiders take a 10-0 lead. Eddie Anderson's interception leads to McCallum's 1-yard shot into the end zone. And now it's Jaeger to kick it off into the wind. Terry Obie inside the 10. The Bears hungry for points. They have not scored now in 11 quarters a touchdown. It's to Green, Robert Green at the 20. Flag down. Willie Ball playing on special teams misses the tackle, and finally Green out of bounds at the 31. But that flag usually means come on back.
Robert Green returned the kickoff.
Dan Lang, 25, with a stop.
Flag on the play. Preliminary signal holding against the Bears.
So bad field position gets worse.
44, Bob Christian.
Holding, 44 receiving team during the return. 10 yards, first down.
Dick, on the interception, in order for this pattern to work, you're going to have to influence this guy somehow. Hayward goes this way, tight end here. Nothing attracts Eddie Anderson away from watching the outside receiver. We'll give you the play in just a minute.
Anderson with a hard-earned 6-7 yards. Winston Moss helped by Terry McDaniel.
Now you watch Eddie Anderson. I'll circle him right here. He is not influenced by anything, and that frees him to go to the outside. He's watching. Nobody comes out. All right, now I can go out here to the wide receiver.
And it looks like Conway has everyone beaten at that point.
Yep, and it's just an easy pick. That's a double rotation zone, and you couldn't ask for a situation better for a safety to make an interception.
Second down and 4 as Anderson peers in at Harbaugh. Waddle in motion. And it's Neil Anderson. First down across the 25-yard line. Lionel Washington chopped him down.
He's still hurt, too. Washington is still down. He got hit in the head.
Veteran from Tulane, 378 yards on the ground. Burrows close to the 30, a gain of almost 4.
And you know, Dick, you're talking about Neil Anderson. When he takes the ball now, he's got both arms around it like he's a fullback. He doesn't want to cough the ball up. He used to be a guy who carried it out here and was very confident with the guys in front of you. He doesn't appear to have that confidence in the offensive line.
Anderson, part of that great running back heritage at the University of Florida, and all of his records broken by that superb runner down in Dallas, Emmitt Smith. But another big day again today. Offside. Oh, fumble. And the Raiders have recovered. Winston Moss falls on it, but I believe Los Angeles will be called for offside. What could have been a fatal turnover for the Bears deep in their own end, trailing 10-0. And now fans here in Chicago hoping that flag means a penalty against Los Angeles.
Offside, 51 defense, 5 yards, still second down.
Aaron Wallace lined up on the line of scrimmage.
This is going to be pretty easy to see, too. Looks like he's trying to blitz there, Dick. And the tight end picks him up. Didn't look like Anderson ever really had that ball cleanly, did he? Never really had control of it.
So second and short for Harbaugh and the Bears. A down with which to play. Hayward and Anderson lined up behind Harbaugh. Not much there again. Joe Kelly, 57, middle linebacker, first to hit him. It'll be close to a first down.
Ideally, in a running game, wherever this guy goes right with him. But watch here, Anderson is cutting back inside. It's just not working perfectly. But you can never really question, well, what happened was the right guard, Wojciechowski, Howie Long got outside.
Season with the Raiders, the last of the Oakland Raiders, and very cerebral guy, and he's thoughtfully planned out the rest of his career. And he said, I'll guarantee you no one will ask me or tell me that I'm through, that I can't play anymore.
Yeah.
I'll know I'm too proud of what I do. I want to be in the elite. I'll leave long before they have to tell me.
And one other thing you said about that is I thought was brilliant after this play.
First down from the 36. Harbaugh, who just escapes the pressure and out of the interference, although it could be an uncatchable pass.
That's
no
what
call. Uncatchable. Fred Banks, the receiver. Chester McLaughlin was the man harassing Harbaugh.
91. But that's what they're saying. This ball is over his head. Terry McDaniel, 36, was the closest man. Fred Banks kind of floating out there. The contact uncatchable. To continue what you said about Howie Long, he said to us, I do not want an ex-teammate of mine, Art Shell, telling me we've had you enough. Go find your life's work.
That's right. They played against each other in scrimmages, and Shell taught him a few lessons. Anderson unable to get to the line of scrimmage. And Howie Long was there along with Chester McLaughlin. And one of the things going for Howie Long, the superhero, he is going to be the subject. Marvel magazines will include NFL players, and this is Howie against the dreaded Wolverine. Hope you're ready to go down, little man. Talking holograph, no less. Recognize the uniform and the face, Howie Long.
Oh, you do that very well.
And even get the Heidi game in there. They should at least put NBC plug on
I would hope.
I've been programmed with Long's on-field strategies. On the roll, Harbaugh. Throws incomplete. Well covered upfield.
Yeah.
His intended receiver was Waddle.
Not many options there. The good thing is you avoid the pass rush. The bad thing is you got a third of the field to work with. Much easier for the defense to cover everybody. He's still not getting a lot of time, even though he rolled out. That was 4.2 seconds before he got rid of the football. But that's from the rollout.
Gardocki sails that one long, a twisting spiral to Tim Brown. Met brutally at the 35-yard line. 43-yard punt, 13 on the return. That's the longest return against the Bears punt unit all season long. Ron Cox made another tackle, and we have a timeout. 8:11 left in the half. Former Giant Jeff Hostetler last week, 424 yards passing against San Diego, breaking Cotton Davidson's all-time record. Let's see that's what he does on the natural gas quarterback efficiency ratings. Moves up to 10th. Montana, though injured, is still #1 on the list. Harbaugh is 14th. Greg Robinson hit hard by Sean Gale after a yard gain. Thus far in this game, neither Hostetler nor Harbaugh has more than 20 yards passing.
That's amazing. But what the Bears are doing is committing one more guy to stop the run, and here comes Gale. Inside out, stop him at the line of scrimmage. Now that's the Bears' choice here. Commit 8 to stop the run, where to this point they've been committing 7. Now it's time for the Raiders to think about going deep.
Well, obviously the Bears, as is with all the opponents of the Raiders, concerned about the wide receiver speed, and so figuring that in advance, Art Shell keeps his team on the ground. Kane and Jones make the stop of Robinson, who's close to another Raider first down.
But it's a matter of time. The reason that they have the speed, if they can run the ball, you get those defensive backs up a step closer to the line of scrimmage, which makes those deep patterns work and work beautifully.
Close enough for a measurement, although from this angle it appears to be short.
This is a quality offensive line the Los Angeles Raiders have. There are Pro Bowl players all over the place, and anchored in the middle by Mosbar. And you've also got Wisniewski, Pro Bowl, Montana, who played in a Pro Bowl when they need to, and I guess their mind is right. And when their mind is right, they can do an excellent job up front. Watch this nice little trap by Wisniewski here that just pops the running back right through there. Excellent job. Wisniewski on Steve McMichael, and that's dragging people with you.
76 Wisniewski in the Pro Bowl the last 3 years. He said that isn't his goal this year. He'll probably make it because he's one of the best guards in football. McCallum. That's quite a story. Napoleon McCallum, forgotten as a running back with the Raiders and used today as Art Shell searching for someone to get that big time yardage, and he's got 19 yards and 4 carries and the game's only touchdown.
And you know what's amazing about a guy like McCallum, and you look at a guy like Al Davis, teams are struggling to find players, and guys are cut, another one's brought in. McCallum hangs around year after year. A kid of great character. Al Davis, I think, likes that.
First down from the 49, and Robinson slips at the line of scrimmage, and Wolford there to secure the stop.
I'm not exactly sure what happened there. The Rocket 86 kind of helping there on a block. Robinson, see if we can pick up what happens here. Here comes Rocket in. It looks like an intentional block on Sean Gale. That takes care of that 8th man in there to stop the run.
Got to go all the way back to 1986, where McCallum was a productive runner when he gained 536 yards in his first season in the NFL. Since then, he's been very quiet. Good. Hostetler surrounded and swallowed. McMichael and Spelman. Steve McMichael, who is only 2 games away from Walter Payton. 3rd and 16. And the give is to Ty Montgomery. He fumbles the ball, and I believe while being tackled by Zorich, it popped right back into his chest.
Goodness.
That was almost in the clear for the Bears.
They run the trap again, this time the long trap, 76 leading, and it's Dante Jones, I believe, 53, who makes the contact, and you're right, Dick. It's like there's Velcro on the front of his jersey. He hangs on.
4th down, and Obi drifts back as Gossett will punt once again. His last one perfectly aimed out of bounds. Flag goes down as Gossett still down, and Obi with a fair catch at the 15.
But Dick, I don't think that's going to be the big penalty, so it's still going to be 4th down against the Raiders.
Running into the kicker,
yes.
Reading the lips of McCarter, so that is not the automatic first down.
And Jeff Gossett comes back limping. Oh, come on, Gordon, look at me.
Did all of that for 5 yards.
And you can see the Chicago Bear tries to get by him without making too much contact. Albert Fontenot holding his leg, trying everything, but they're going to have to repunt.
Running into the kicker, number 74, kicking team, 5 yards, repeat, 4th down.
Patty Duke and Martin Sheen will star in a powerful thriller about a mother trying to bring her son's killer to justice. A suspenseful world premiere motion picture event based on a true story, A Matter of Justice, tonight on NBC. Oh, the Bears trailing 10-0. Start for the 15-yard line. Harbaugh to Anderson for 4. Joe Kelly got a hand in there to trip him up, and then Harrison secured.
Dick, excuse me, the theme has been very poor field position for the Chicago Bears, and the fact that they keep running on 1st down. Now, if you've got problems with the pass protection, seems to me a good idea is to throw on 1st down and then see if you can pick one up there.
They've not started. This is their 6th possession, and the best start has been at the 20-yard line.
That's a tough day at the office.
Around the ankle, slashing through was Aaron Wallace. Played his ball at Texas A&M.
Wow. Watch 45 here. He misses Aaron Wallace, and Wallace is there to make the tackle. A lot of people have poked the finger in the eye of Neil Anderson, saying he's not what he used to be. Well, he needs some blocking out front.
Anderson averaging just 2.4 a carry, and he's been busy. 16 times his number's been called for 39 yards.
And this is his 3rd down and long again for the Bears.
Harbaugh batted into his face. Right there was 56, Andre Bruce.
Goodness, that thing almost stuck in his face mask, Dick. It would have gone as a reception.
Howie says you'll be in my next comic book with those plays.
The offensive line cuts everybody, and Andre Bruce, after they try to cut him, oh, nobody touches him.
Right into the face bars. Tim Brown with a fair catch. Now has to let it bounce. And it'll be the Raiders again with good field position at their own 46-yard line, a 34-yard Garducki punt.
At the Raiders, 46.
Well, next time, 10:30 in the West here on NBC. Gossett to McCallum, a terrific catch, and out of bounds at the Bears' 48-yard line. A flag is down.
I don't know what's happened here with McCallum. I mean, he is the big gun in the offense today.
Yeah, Great Lakes Naval Station just up the road here. Maybe he's inspired by the environs. It's against the Bears.
Against the Bears.
McCallum, the son of a school teacher, Cincinnati. Is she still teaching down there in your hometown?
Yes, Mrs. McCallum, Knapp's mother, taught my son at the Princeton School District in the north side of Cincinnati.
Usually doesn't see a lot of action. A Naval Reserve.
Illegal use of hands, jam to the face, 95 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Naval Reserve. This is dent on Gerald Perry. Kind of an unintentional hand to the face. That's, I mean, you're not supposed to have hands to the face, but it was called Naval Reserve. Yes.
You take away the catch by McCallum, and they take the penalty 1st down. And another delay. Dave Wannstedt.
The penalty is an automatic 1st down. It is not 1st and 5. It is 1st and 10.
Wannstedt, who told us the terrific stories as he's trying to build here about the early days in Dallas, and when Jimmy Johnson, all the coaches would jog. Wannstedt's an avid runner. He said Johnson would always take a little shortcut across the field and pick him up halfway around. Said one day we're talking, they said Johnson said to the coaches, what do we have that we can trade that'll bring us something? By that night he had traded
Herschel Walker. So he's a heavy jogger up here in Chicago. He needs a couple of deals like that, Dick.
Yeah, we asked him about that. Steve Smith finds an opening. And the former Penn State star is to the 41-yard line. Joe Kane trips him up along with Jeremy Lincoln.
Now, one of the things that you wonder about this team, watch Richard Dent here, the great pass rusher, and you wonder if at some point in a guy's career, because of his reputation as a pass rusher, when things slow down, that's all you do. There's a lot of running at Richard Dent because they picture him just as a pass rusher.
2nd and 2, and Smith again. And he powers his way to a first down at the Bear 37. We approach the 2-minute timeout. The Raiders on the move with a 10-0 lead. And there is the 2-minute warning first half. Back in Chicago, where they're still hunting for their offense. They're about to go 12 quarters without a touchdown here. And when we talked to Wanstad, we said then, well, on a jog now, if you were to get with your coaches and say, on your offense, who could you trade and get something?
His response was, there is nobody here like Herschel Walker who's going to attract players by a trade to help our offense. And I think to this point, they only have 47 yards total offense in the first half. So the offensive problems continue. And look, there are some things that are absolutes in the NFL. Hang on a minute, I'll give you my thought there.
Meanwhile, the Raiders with a 10-0 lead on first down. Give it to the fullback, and not much there. Nick Bell gets his first carry of the game. The young man from Iowa, and we have a timeout. Steel worker, much like Mike Ditka. His dad also worked in the steel mills. They went both University of Pittsburgh. He was an offensive tackle.
There are some absolutes in the NFL, and one of the first is you build your football team from the front back, lines back. Defensive line here in Chicago is an acceptable offensive line. Offensive line is where they have to start. He said, we're not drafting offensive linemen. We're going for the free agents who already have the experience and know how to play in the NFL next year.
On second down, Hostetler well protected. Now has to throw, and is it Horton in bounds? No, did not get the second foot down. That was a tough catch for Horton. Well covered on the sidelines.
And that was a tough throw by Hostetler. He had people right in his face. It's 93 Trace Armstrong who is right there. That one. That's a good call. Wolford was the closest man in coverage, and Horton couldn't get his second foot down.
Hostetler 424 yards last week against San Diego, a Raider record 19 yards passing in the first half today. 2 for 6. Horton has the only 2 catches, so all that speed outside, no wide receiver catches. 3rd and long. And there is Tim Brown with a catch and a first down at the 25. Brown's 30th catch this year. He leads Los Angeles, and the Raiders use a timeout.
That was a great job by Tim Brown, too, making himself available to a quarterback in trouble. Well, you can make friends with a quarterback when you do that.
Reminder, Domino's Pizza NFL halftime report.
I'm with injury. He's not going up and say, you, get out. I'm the new guy. We want new guys.
A minute 33 to go. 10-0 Raiders. Hostetler wide open on the sidelines is the tight end Horton, who steps out of bounds to stop the clock. Out of bounds at the 15, just shy of another first down.
Look at that.
Only 47 yards for Chicago, team with its troubles all season moving the ball.
And the bulk of those 130 yards on the ground, which is very encouraging for the Los Angeles Raiders.
Well, they've next to Tampa Bay in terms of yardage per rush at 3.0 starting today. 2nd and 1. Smith finds a little room off guard and appears to have the first down. Richard Dent slicing underneath to get a piece of it.
Lead blocker there was Nick Bell. So they had the 2 fullbacks in the game at the same time. There's Nick Bell. This season, actually, his professional career, the littlest of injuries seemed to keep this guy out for weeks. Coming off a bad ankle, had a hamstring earlier this year.
Always wanted to be a Raider since a young boy in Las Vegas. 250-pound Bell. Caught inside the 5. Horton again. He's been a busy target. 43 seconds and timeout. The second used by Los Angeles.
Well, again, when you have a double rotation zone by the Chicago Bears, where you look is inside. Hostetler's making the right choices here. He's really done an excellent job throwing the ball. That's 4 catches now for Ethan Horton in the first half.
First and goal for the Raiders at the 4-yard line with a 10-0 lead, and this will be an interesting second half in that there'll be a total change in environment. We start the game in the sunlight, and in the second half it'll be in the darkness. It'll get colder, and the Raiders, that West Coast warm weather team, would like to have a huge lead on which to enjoy the second half.
That makes things a lot easier. Yes.
There's 43 seconds for Hostetler to try to get more. 10-0 to score. 4 yards from a touchdown. Smith gets half the distance, and half the Bears defense in on the tackle. And the last timeout used by Los Angeles. All right, separated at birth. Wannstedt and Hostetler. Look at that.
Isn't that amazing?
Hey, they're almost twins. Hostetler on the left, in case you didn't figure it out, and Wannstedt on the right.
As a matter of fact, when Hostetler looked at the picture last night, he kind of looked twice and then 3 times and wondered if, is that a relative?
Wannstedt, who was drafted out of the University of Pittsburgh as a tackle, didn't play, was injured 1 year, and as you heard with Mike Ditkin, their conversation, Coach Johnson down in Dallas has been the strongest influence. From the 2-yard line, Todd Pete is in an eligible position. Hostetler tries to scramble and now throws the ball forward. They're going to call that a fumble? No, they say he was down at the 1-yard line. What in the world was he doing there?
Dick, I couldn't tell if his arm was going forward or not.
That was kind of that Kenny Stabler falling down. Was a Clarence Davis throw.
Yeah, that was the Pete Banasek. What happened? Is he trying to throw it as he goes down here? He slips.
He's already down, well down, and in control.
He did it intentionally. There is no question about that.
But there are rules against that.
Yes.
The holy roller play, as it was called in San Diego.
Right.
The Raiders continue to keep fumbling it forward. Casper and Stabler in that group, and finally in the end zone got a touchdown when they had no catches. Jet to the right, no catches. No one really in the backfield. It's to right. Incomplete. Ball skidding low, and that's where Hostetler wanted it. 8 seconds left, and they're bringing on the field goal unit. That play took only 4 seconds. They have time for another play. It's 3rd down.
You see the bump and run coverage attempted there by the Chicago Bears. Jeremy Lincoln, 39, on a young man with an awful lot of speed.
So they're not going to gamble with 8 seconds on another play, and Jaeger with an extra point. Field goal attempt, 21 yards. Archell making sure that he got something out of that drive, but for the Chicago Bears, despite the fact they've done very little offensively in this first half, they're within 2 touchdowns of the lead themselves with a whole half ahead.
Yeah, and Dick, remember, the only touchdown they got was after the turnover. They take the ball over at like the 1-yard line or 2-yard line, and one play and they run it in. So 2 field goals and 1 touchdown.
Domino's Pizza halftime report, and
today on NBC.
There's over a year before that decision has to be made.
Well, but I mean, just today, Joe said, tomorrow's another day.
Look under the reference. It says Bill Walsh, Bill Parcells, Mike Fratello.
They like to go back there, don't they?
Terry Obie, the deep man at the 5. Take out that special teams to get him down, and that is the end of the first half. 13-0 the Raiders, and the Bears continue to struggle scoring points. We'll be right back after this message from the NFL and a word from your local.
To fix, and it starts. What you can do as an offensive coordinator or an offense to fix this. They need another training camp is what they need, Dick.
Gardaki's kickoff very short and taken by Rocket Ismail. Ismail gets his hands on the ball for the first time today, and he takes it close to the 30-yard line. A look at the first half official statistics. The Coors Light halftime stats, and there's confirmation of the Bears' difficulties. Look at the right-hand column.
39 yards rushing, 8 yards passing. This is encouraging for the Los Angeles Raiders to run for 101 yards, and Greg Robinson was in there the first couple of series, and then he's back in the lineup now, so the running game is working for the Raiders.
Gives to Smith. Smith gets 5, almost 6 yards. Little inside trap, and Smith carrying the ball more today than any time this season.
Again, Wisniewski, what they're trying to do is get right in this spot. Because those linebackers are offset, you've got good angles as an offensive line. So you get somebody on everybody on that defense. And that's why that trap up the middle is working. Smith in the first 7 games, 46 yards. Today, 38 yards. Hostetler on 2nd and 5. Through the hands of his tight end, Horton, who was the leading receiver in the first half with 4 catches. Ball thrown just behind Ethan Horton. You can see Dante Jones, 53, is the man in coverage. Now once that's well done, Smith goes up the sideline. Horton goes to the sideline, making himself a receiver for the quarterback, but the ball is thrown slightly behind him. Oh, come on, you're protecting the tight end. That was catchable. Ditkin, I think that the ball was thrown behind that tight end. The Raiders had the advantage of playing on the Bears' half of the field in this game thus far. The Hawks on 3rd down. And 74, Fontenot stripped it away for a moment, but Hostetler recovers. Albert Fontenot, rookie from Baylor, makes the play. Good coverage downfield by the Bears. You see the twist run by the Bears up front. When he steps out, watch 74. He's on the ground now from the right. Knocks the ball right out of his hands. But again, the bounces have gone the Raiders' way today. Right back to Hostetler. That's right. Remember Ty Montgomery at the end of the first half had it fumbled right back to himself. Gossett kicking with the wind, drills it to Obi at the 21. And Obi with a good return to the 36-yard line. That's a big play for Chicago. Yes, listen to it. Cheer. 50-yard kick, 15 on the return. About half the crowd decided they'd seen enough. Harbaugh with Hayward and Anderson behind him, and it's Neil Anderson first down on the ground, and Joe Kelly gets him down. This is the best field position for the Bears today. Their 7th possession, first time past their own 20. Flag down in the secondary of the Raiders. And it's against Chicago. Tripping or an illegal chop block. Number 20. Yeah, he's down at the legs, and I think his helmet hits right on the knee of Hoskins, and Waddle goes to the sideline. Oh, Harbaugh now was Waddle losing. And he's their primary receiver with the injuries to Wendell Davis. Anthony Morgan released. They're really thin there. Anderson on 1st and 20. And the Raiders giving the run, and Anderson gets it out to the 30-yard line. Now with their inability. Last 2 against Minnesota and Green Bay. Harbaugh on the roll. Quick throw incomplete to Anderson. That was well covered by Winston Moss. Dick, that was almost a spectacular catch. But again, the fans being very vocal in their complaints. A rollout, something that worked for the Bears in the first half. Ball thrown behind. Anderson almost makes the one-handed catch. But the Bears have no choice here, Dick. I mean, they got to keep Jim Harbaugh standing up. Boy, Covert and Van Horn and Bortz and Thayer and Hilgenberg, that line that protected so well, and the only one left now is Bortz, and perhaps in his last year. 3rd and 17. Down the middle, and he had an open man, that tight end, Wet Knight, but overthrew him, and Harbaugh hears
the jeers.
That was the most time Harbaugh had to throw, and it looks to me like they're trying to split the zone. The tight end curls up. The quarterback expected him to keep going.
Punter Gardaki's had a busy day. Wynn cuts this one to Brown with a fair catch at the Raider 38-yard line. 2.5 minutes into the second half, the Raiders by 13. Water not be that way. Hardly tranquil there at the eyes. 97, Chris Zorich. Now at 284 pounds, a former Notre Dame star. Hostetler on first down, throwing to Tim Brown, another Domer, and he has about 9 yards. You can be sure Zorich and Brown and the rest of the country will be watching closely Saturday 1:30 Eastern, Notre Dame and Florida State, the battle for number 1.
Zorich makes the tackle. That's a defensive tackle. 9 yards down the field making the tackle. I mean, that's
why Wanstead said there's one of the men that I wouldn't want to trade. And Ditka felt the same way about him when he drafted him. 49, he said, I was born to be a Bear, dreamed about playing for the Bears. And one of those kids that just gives you even more than he has. That'll be good for the first down. A short shot by Steve Smith, and Hostetler has another set of 4 downs. Zorich again in on the tackle.
And Mike Ditka said when the comment was made about Zorich, he's too short to be defensive tackle in the NFL. He said, well, that was true about Mike Singletary too. He was too short to be a middle linebacker in the NFL.
Went to the same high school as Butkus here in Chicago, vocational high. And Mike once told us that he possessed the finest character he'd ever seen in a young man. Hostetler off play action has a wide open receiver right. Alexander Wright's first catch, the NFL's fastest man in the last 2 competitions. First down at the 32, a 19-yard play.
There's so much speed out here at wide receiver. And see the zone coverage, Gale deep, Lincoln up short, and there's enough time for Hostetler to throw it over the corner underneath the safety. I mean, that's just beautifully executed by the Los Angeles Raiders.
Acquired was Wright from Dallas last year for a number 4 draft pick. He has 12 catches this year with an average of over 21 per catch. Pick up the blitz, and then Hostetler going long for Wright. Good coverage downfield as Hostetler hits the deck.
So hopefully a defensive score.
Referee McCarter overlooking Vincent Smith throwing Hostetler down well after the pass. So Robinson, like a pinball, caroms ahead for 3 or 4. Trace Armstrong, Zorich, and others get a taste of the tackle. The Raiders will be seeing the next couple of weeks. Are back home against Kansas City, and rumors have it a rare sellout due at the Coliseum for next Sunday's game, or one very close to a sellout for Art Shell's battle against the Chiefs. And a win today for the Raiders would move them to 5-3. Kansas City 5-2 going into their game tomorrow night at home against Green Bay. It's underneath to Tim Brown, going to be close to a first down. Dante Jones makes the tackle. A flag is down in the backfield of the Raiders.
That was very late. They called it on Gerald Perry. Mangum, number 26, an extra defensive back in the ball game, was back there rushing the passer. There's 26. I could not see what Gerald Perry did, but
illegal use of hands, jam to the face, number 71 offense, 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
Wow. Handled Charles Haley like he was his cousin. So 3rd down and 17 now for Hostetler. Goes short and incomplete through the hands of Ty Montgomery, the kid brother of former Eagle star Wilbert Montgomery.
Dick, you know, you mentioned Gerald Perry. We haven't called Richard Dent's name today at all. He's not been around Hostetler. He's been literally no.
10 men on the line of scrimmage. Gossett just punches one toward the sidelines and out of bounds with a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Looked as if the Bears were trying to go after Gossett. And Gossett indicating, he pointed toward the Bears, but it was against the Raiders' illegal man downfield.
Number 29 kicking team, penalty declined, first down.
9:21 left in the third. Harbaugh greeted by boos as he returns to the huddle. He's missed on 7 in a row, hasn't completed a pass since Chicago's second possession back in the opening quarter.
2 for 10 for 11 yards.
But the problem is, he says, 1, maybe I'm holding on to it too long. 2, the line not giving him enough time. 3, the receivers aren't looking quickly enough. It all hooks together. Bob Christian in for Hayward as Harbaugh runs it out of bounds, and Moss will get a flag for a late hit. That becomes a huge play for Chicago. The scramble gets about 5, and then the personal foul.
Number 99 defense, late hit, out of bounds, 15 yards from the dead ball spot, first down.
I really don't know why Winston Moss is complaining. There is no receiver for Harbaugh to throw to, no help for him. His first step when a contact is made, he's out of bounds.
I think Moss is saying, hey, if I wanted to hit him, I'd have hit him. I just put my hands on him. This is just 2 tags above the waist. Flag ball.
Well, but they try to protect those guys who have 6 zeros behind any number in which, you know, they make money.
$4 million quarterback is Harbaugh, who tested free agency, and there were rumors out in Los Angeles that he might become a Raider. Art Shell was very fond of him in the workout. It was quite conceivable that Hostetler would be the Bear quarterback and Harbaugh would be in Los Angeles.
I know what the response of the Chicago Bears fans are saying right now. We wish it had been.
Yeah, this young guy is he's okay. Waddle breaks a tackle, and he's all the way to the 25-yard line. Out of bounds, 27. 36-yard play, the longest of the day.
That's just a 3-step drop, and then Washington misses the tackle completely. Waddle, who never gives up. Absolutely never gives up. This is just a hitch play. He stops, he throws it. Washington slips, and then he can't hang on. Waddle's a kid from Cincinnati. This guy is more like Fred Biletnikoff than any player playing in the game today. A hands receiver.
First time for the Bears on the Raider half of the field. This is Christian, who played at Northwestern, and he's inside the 20. And the Bears picking up some momentum. They're down by 13, midpoint of the third quarter.
This they call their Rhino offense with Hayward and Christian in there together. Christian comes out as a receiver. This time McDaniel misses the tackle. And this all started with that big penalty on Winston Moss.
Second down, a long 1.5, closer to 2. Hayward gets into the act, and he gets about 5, and a first down at the 14 of the Raiders. Nolan Harrison makes the stop.
And you know, Dick, we made fun of Ironhead Hayward and his chocolate donut at practice yesterday. But
so the Bears trying to erupt out of their hibernation of 3 straight games, looking for a touchdown, and it's Hayward. And he plows for 5 more. Half the Raider defense to bring him down at the 10-yard line.
All right, again, this is the Rhino offense. You've got Christian 44 up front, and Hayward follows him. And that's dragging about half of the Raider defense with him.
Willie Broughton was the first man to get his hands on Hayward, who outrace anyone on the Raider defense. They finally slow him down, straighten him, and push him back after reaching the 7-yard line. It'll be third and about 2.5.
Christian to the right, he is the lead blocker. It doesn't really make much contact with Anthony Smith, 94. But that's got to be 325 pounds rumbling at you. I mean, they wouldn't tell us what his weight is, but
Hayward again stopped shy of the 5. A flag is down. And appeared to be motion by the Bears.
yeah, they ran Tom Waddle in motion, and he took a step upfield, and then the ball wasn't snapped. Let's see what it is, though.
Offside.
Oh, my.
Defense lined up in the neutral zone. Half the distance penalty. Penalty is enough for a first down and goal.
I'll tell you what, though, they got away with one because Tom Waddle, he did turn up a step too early.
Bears have not scored a touchdown in 12 quarters plus this one. First and goal from the 3. Anderson back in. He gets the ball. Touchdown. Awaken a very impressive drive. Neil Anderson caps it on a 3-yard run. First touchdown in 42 possessions.
Goodness.
Kevin Butler to try the extra point. It's good, and the Bears are within 6.
Watch the lead block here by Hayward. He gets 2 of them, Dick. The play comes right here. They take Christian out. Ironhead leads. There's 1. There's 2. And Anderson cuts right inside for the easy score.
An 81-yard drive. Awaken this partisan crowd. It's 13-7 Raiders. Gargaki kicks it off to Wright and Ismail. It's the Rocket. Whoa, what a move by Ismail across the 35 to the 37. A 30-yard return. One of the better returns against the Bears all season long.
This is the touchdown, Dick, from behind the defense. This is super slow-mo. Look at the job they did caving down the onside. The kick out by 73 and also Ironhead. And Neil Anderson makes it almost untouched to the end zone. That's a good job by the strong side. And Wojciechowski, a nice pull there out in front of Neil Anderson.
It was an 81-yard drive for the Bears in 7 plays. And Anderson has his 2nd touchdown of the season, and that offensive line. And Hayward sitting right in there with him. He belongs. Getting spurred on for the next opportunity as Robinson crosses the 40. Pickup of about 4 on first down. McMichael and Zorich trailing and making the tackle.
Well, now the defense has got to be thinking here, turn the ball over, get the ball back for our offense. They've got some momentum, and it's been so long since they've had anything on offense. Get it back to us.
But this defense of the Bears is good, 6th in the league, and will give the Bears a chance in every game if the offense can produce anything. Couple of touchdowns. And 2nd down, Hostetler steps away from Dent. And that'll be short of a first down to Robinson at the 45, tackled by Dante Jones. Jones replacing Mike Singletary in the middle of the Bear defense.
You know, you mentioned an excellent point about the defense is good enough. If the offense can just keep giving the defense a rest every once in a while. I mean, the offense can't go 3 downs and out. By the end of the game, the defense gets so worn out it can't function.
4 minutes left in the 3rd quarter here at Soldier Field. 3rd down and 2.
George looked off sides there.
Big hole for Smith. And he's to the 42-yard line of Chicago before Jeremy Lincoln, the cornerback, can slash in for the stop.
Well, we came into this game wondering if the Raiders are going to be able to run the football. Another trap by Wisniewski, 76. They don't normally give the ball to the fullback much here. This is a tailback-oriented offense of the Raiders. And the Raiders have taken apart the middle of that Chicago Bear defense.
Steve Smith has gained more yards today than he did total the first 7 games of this season. 54 yards for Smith. Robinson has room to roll. And he has what appears another first down near the 30 of Chicago. Sean Gale, the safety, bumps him out.
Oh, this is the old 28 grace. There's nothing special about this. It should be coming right at you. See the guard pulling. Max Montoya 65-35. Smith with the lead. They capture the corner. Robertson turns it up. Gale and Wolpert finally get him out. This is the way the Raiders used to run the football, Dick.
More to the left side with Shaw
and Shell.
First down, Robinson to the left side. Flags down and no gain. Good play made on the corner by linebacker Vincent Smith, the ex-Cowboy.
And he was held. I don't know who held him, but he was held.
And the Raiders far and away the leaders in the NFL in that department. Most penalties, most yards.
Holding, number 71 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
Well, Gerald Perry with 2 big penalties.
48 yards total against the Raiders. That's a quiet day.
Well, let's see if he gets his hand on. He pulls Dent right straight to the ground. Yeah, we'll give him 2 points. He got bent to his back.
The Raiders are averaging almost 88 yards and penalties per game. Prior to today, more yards penalties than rushing the ball. So hand off to Smith, and the Bears were ready. Zorich held his ground.
It gets crowded in there playing defensive tackle. He's got Wisniewski in front of him. It's another trap. This time Montoya 65. The right guard comes to pull the trap, and Zorich hammers him right to the ground. Max Montoya is great at a lot of things. At this age and the years he's been in the NFL, trapping is not one of them. Zorich took advantage of it there, just collapsed the hole.
Montoya in his 202nd NFL game. Cincinnati and the Raiders. 2nd and 21. Hostetler going long for Jet. And a flag goes down against Jeremy Lincoln. And oh, is he a Jet. 82 of the Raiders. They seem to be running in tandem, and then all of a sudden, like shot forward was Jet, and Lincoln on the turnaround didn't seem to do anything blatant. But Jet, as he turned to try to get the ball, perhaps denied.
Was it catchable? Was it catchable?
There is no foul. The pass was uncatchable.
That was Jeff Haslender in the background.
Well, that evens it out. There was a play in the first half the Bear fans thought should have been a penalty, but uncatchable was the call.
You can see the contact, and as Jet turns around, yeah, I don't think he could have gotten to the ball because he looked inside. You can see where the pattern is designed to go. That's making a rookie mistake. He's looking inside. Ball should be thrown inside, and when it's thrown outside, he can't get to it.
Even Carl Lewis wouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah, Carl replaced him in the 4x100-meter relay. You're right.
Jet was the anchor in the prelims, and then Carl took the baton for the big show and the gold medal. Dumps it off to Montgomery, and flags down again. Montgomery tackled at the 35. Maurice Douglas and Zorich in on the tackle, along with Dent.
We asked Jet about that gold medal. Said he's still got the gold medal by the 4x100-meter relay. It's in a bank in his hometown of West Virginia. So
this time, oh, that's a big one against the Bears because that carries a first down.
Holding, cornerback, defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
Jeremy Lincoln, who has replaced Anthony Blaylock. Blaylock out with an injured thigh, and the second-year man from Tennessee. And Juan said, you know, he's got great speed, but he doesn't have the experience. Was worried about Lincoln being picked upon.
Well, I'm just looking here at all 22 look. They called it on the corner. There's no contact corner on receiver at all. Zero. None. You could see the surprise on Jeremy Lincoln's face. He didn't touch anybody.
Raiders leading 13-7 with a minute and a half remaining in the third quarter. Bob Smith fumbles, and for the third time today, a Raider fumble bounces right back to a Los Angeles player. Joe Kane made the tackle and forced the ball free.
Smith normally very sure-handed. Kane is going to come from the left-hand side. It's a blitz. There he appears. Just helmet hit the ball right out.
Let's see if we can find the interference that gave the Raiders a first down. This is Lincoln.
They called it on the cornerback. You see, there's absolutely no contact there whatsoever. That's why he was perplexed as to why holding on the cornerback. What are you talking about?
Hostetler down the middle. Horton, the tight end, a twisting catch for a first down inside the 25. Kane downs him as we see the final seconds chewing up the third quarter.
Dick, I'm telling you, they don't hold up tight ends in the NFL anymore. And if the quarterback has time, you can find guys like Ethan Horton open every Sunday throughout the NFL. I don't know when they stop holding them up, but man, they're there every week for you.
Nice numbers for Horton today, 5 for 55. Hostetler on the scramble and the dive. Ooh, and then crunched from behind by McMichael at the 15. A gain of about 7 in the final play of the third quarter. The Bears back in it. We'll be back after these words from your local station. With to Soldier Field, Chicago. John Gonzalez, our director, back from the Breeders' Cup at Santa Anita yesterday. Great job, everyone out there on that classic day of thoroughbred racing. And John Ferratzis, our producer, who reminds us that the AP Top 10 released today. And to no surprise, Florida State and Notre Dame 1 and 2. I bet you can't guess what's coming next. Oh, and by golly, we're going to have that for you next Saturday. I want to remind you, 1:30 Eastern, 10:30. What about Charlie Ward? What's that?
He is healthy. The cartilage in his ribs are not going to inhibit his practice. He will start next week. That is, unless he gets hit by a train, as Bobby Bowden said.
With a smile. 2nd down and 2 as we open the fourth quarter in Chicago. The throw incomplete. He had his man open, James Jett. And Jett is going to be terrorizing that secondary around the league. In fact, Al Davis said, and listen to this, Al Davis said that he thinks that Jett is going to be better than Cliff Branch.
That's saying something. He also, we were told that Cliff Branch only had 3 receptions his rookie season. That from a Raider official. So we're going to assume that is correct. But, you know, James Jett is going to catch a lot more than 3 in his initial season.
11 coming in, averaging almost 30 yards per catch. 3rd down and 2 underneath to Jett. That's loose change, just pennies, but enough for a first down at the 10. So they'll have to go the full 10 on 1st and goal, it would appear.
And you know, the thing about James Jett, this guy is not one of those track guys that just goes goal line to goal line. He's willing to go across the middle. This is a delay. There are fat guys in there that are mean. And he's only 165 pounds.
Maybe.
He's not afraid to go in there at all.
Ball right on the 10, so 1st and goal. Just underway fourth quarter. Raiders 13, Bears 7. Napoleon gets about 7 on first down. He scored the only touchdown for the Raiders, a 1-yard plunge after Eddie Anderson's interception in the first half.
Dick, they're doing an awful good job against this Chicago Bear defense. This is straight ahead blocking, man on man, nothing to it. Doesn't even need an assist, not much of an assist from Steve Smith, the fullback.
Well, McCallum, who had not carried the ball in a couple of seasons, gets a chance today and has 26 yards and a touchdown on 5 tries. 2nd and goal. Little mix up, and McCallum has not been back there that often, and the flag goes down, and perhaps a false start against the Raiders.
False start before the snap. 65 offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Montoya.
Well, there's lots of movement there. You see Max kind of coming out of his stance there. He's got a block on Sorensen.
Looked like he reacted to Hostetler yelling
Yes.
at McCollum to get back and took that as a snap count.
That's right.
So that makes it tough on the Raiders inside the 9 on 2nd and goal. Jet the motion man. Incomplete. Tight end Horton well covered by Vincent Smith. Smith acquired from the Cowboys in the trade that sent Roper and Paul and Blackwell down to Dallas. Smith and Barry Minter, a linebacker, coming to Chicago.
Should be coming right at you. You see 88. Smith does an excellent job here. Contact comes at just the right time. And it's tipped away, incomplete.
They respot the ball, and the Raiders gained a half yard on the incomplete pass. It's now on the 8-yard line. Denied the touchdown. Horton at the 2. Hostetler with another, give him 6 on that. 108 yards throwing, 10 for 21, and on comes the field goal unit. So to the credit of the Bears, they deny the touchdown, and Shaker with what amounts to his 2nd extra point field goal today. He kicked one from 21 yards at the end of the first half. He is 15 for 17 on the season. And this will be another, well, this will be a 20-yarder. When coaches look at 20, 21, 22-yard field goals, those remind them of long drives for 3 instead of 7.
Drives them crazy.
16-7, 20 yards officially on the field goal. 12.5 minutes to go. 12:26 to go in the 4th. And now the Bears need more than a touchdown. Jeff Jager. And it's Obi who gives way to Tim Worley, the former Steeler. And Worley saying his first duty with the Bears is out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Maybe that's the man that can awaken the Bears offense. Tim Worley. Take the time out on the field, and Harbaugh on the run hits Obi. His first catch, 15 yards, and a first down at midfield.
Straight drop back, and this is without question the most time that Harbaugh's had, and he's still flushed out of the pocket. Continues to look downfield. You got to admire this Harbaugh kid. A lot of quarterbacks in that situation either fall on the ground or take off. He's still trying to make the completions.
16-7. It's Anderson. The passing game opening up the running game, and of course that whole manner of complementing the two forms of attack. You can't really expect to continue to be a top winner unless you have both. And a classic example of two teams went to the Super Bowl last year and continue to play well this year.
Yep.
The Cowboys and the Bills. They run it, they pass it.
Yep. It's the balance you need in your offense.
A first down inside the 40. What's cooking in New York? Jim Lamb. New York is cooking, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a fire.
Anderson spinning, and he's getting about 5 yards a try here. 5, 5, and 5, and inside the Raider 35 before Nolan Harrison can twist him down, and Washington can secure Neil Anderson, who's had a good day. 62 yards. Good day, and now good night.
Now see, Dick, the last time the Bears had the ball, they established some momentum, found some things they could do. Now this time they come out on the field showing some signs of life offensively.
10 minutes exactly to go. Waddle's okay. He's back into the right. Obi to the left. Harbaugh to Christian. And the all-time rusher in Northwestern history up the road in Evanston has a first down at the 22. 12 yards on the play.
Waddle comes in motion, and he's going to pick off the man where Christian runs the pattern. Very well designed. Harbaugh puts it right on the money. There's another big fullback, that Bob Christian.
He's only 5'10", but carries 225. Rushed for some 2,600 yards with the Wildcats. Hayward gets his chance and picks up maybe a yard. Aaron Wallace and others for the tackle.
Oh, Nolan Harrison was right in the...
About 25 pounds away on that matchup with Hayward. Anderson up the middle. Grabbed by the ankles at the 20. And how many times today? 4 or 5 times. Anderson just about at that point where he's going to break for a good gain. Gets caught right around the ankles. McLaughlin got him that time.
And I suppose there are longtime Bear fans who say, well, that's how...
0 for 6 on third down is the report on the Bears who look at 3rd and 8. Harbaugh scrambles. And he's got it at the 11-yard line.
Dick, that was a design play.
So they cheer Harbaugh now.
That's a quarterback draw. They run a 4-wide receiver.
The 11-yard line. They can get a first down without the touchdown. Trailing 16-7. Anderson to the 8-yard line. Well, Harbaugh, we asked him about Wannstedt, and he said he's a little different. That I grew up with my father. Easy on this team in his first year, Wannstedt. Think positively. And Harbaugh's been a project because he's been booed by these fans as he has again today. Anderson again close to breaking free and caught by the shirt tail inside the 5.
So close. Jerry McDaniel with a little shot to the head there, Neil Anderson. And Troy Ozzie, number 70, was a little incensed.
And get a first down at about the half-yard line. The toss to Anderson. Oh, what a defensive play by 91 Chester McLaughlin. He's 315 pounds, fans. 315, and he sprints to the outside and collars Anderson.
He's also a defensive tackle. He had the half of the field to run out there.
That was a tremendous play by McLaughlin. No wonder the Raiders are so high on this second-year man from Clemson.
He has basically been adopted by Howie Long. That is a very good adoptive parent if you're Chester McLaughlin.
So with that play at the 4 and 3 yards for a first down, Butler will try the short field goal. And misses it to the left. Oh, no. Well, the cycle is sour.
One of the most consistent things for the Chicago Bears through all this has been Kevin Butler.
Butler had made 24 in a row inside the 40, and Harbaugh reacts as well as anyone in Chicago might to a 21-yard miss. The Raiders, after the short miss by Butler, take over the 20, and Napoleon McCallum gets 7 yards. Go back to Butler, however. That was his 254th field goal attempt as a Bear. He's their all-time scorer. The shortest he's ever missed.
Goodness.
20 yards. So that just is a total upset and upsetting to the Bears and their fans, who had a chance to pull within a touchdown of victory. And time now running out as the Raiders will try to chew it up on the ground. 2nd down and 3, and Hostetler using his full complement of time between plays.
Watch your head.
Getting a lot out of a little near another first down. Let's go to New York, and Jim Shula reminded of his most difficult defeat to the Jets way back in Super Bowl III, and now the Jets making that perhaps 2-0 this year. And if the Jets win, they go to 4-4 and back in the playoff fight in the East. Buffalo 7-1 would take over sole possession of the lead. McCallum on 3rd and inches, and we'll see how they mark it. Looks as if the line judge has his toe right on the stripe, which would be a first down. So based on today's play, Buffalo winning in overtime, Miami should lose. It would fall a game behind the Bills, and the Jets would move up to 4-4. Cleveland losing, Pittsburgh wins, so they're tied 5-3 in the Central. Kansas City led.
Starting on the 20-yard line, The ball is touching the 30-yard line. That is a first down.
So rather than measuring the logic that they've lined the field properly, that's 10 yards and a first down.
Well, wait a minute, Dick.
In the old days of Wrigley Field with Papa Bear, that may not have been the case.
Yes, that is absolutely true.
I say that with great respect and endearment of Papa Bear.
Yeah, Papa Bear was even one to sell tickets on the bench of the opposing teams in there.
Never be one even close.
Wrigley Field.
He was all alone, number one. So the first down, now McCallum, and a flag goes down, and that's what the Bears need to have, something that will push the Raiders back and perhaps make them throw the ball, stop the clock with an incomplete. Dante Jones makes the tackle. It is against Los Angeles.
You know what else they need to do is make sure that the defense stops the clock with timeouts. You've got to save time for your offense. Even though you're down by 9 points, you've got to save time for your offense. That's the defense's responsibility.
Just to jump a little bit off to the
number 71 offense, 10 yards. Repeat first down.
Perry has the hat trick. With Shula about to break the Hallis mark, the beautiful thing to me about records in all sports is, and sometimes we lose sight of the fact that it allows us to be reminded of the man or woman who held the record before. And part of the Shula tribute now is for us all to think about what a great one George Hallis was as well. And McCallum unable to catch the short pass, and that's what the Bears want. Stop the clock. 3:16 to go. Mike Shula, assistant now here with the Chicago Bears. Older brother David, the head man at Cincinnati, and Mike destined, one would think, to be a head coach himself. College or pros, and not too far ahead. The best man at Don Shula's recent wedding.
But at his age, and in the coaching profession, can he even fathom 324 wins at any level, Dick? Not just the NFL.
Probably the early start down at 33. Smith up the middle, and let's see, the Bears will spend a timeout at the 3:10 mark. So 3:10 to go. The Raiders leading 16-7. Back at Soldier Field, Chicago won a divorce and the season tickets.
That's awful.
Well, so is divorce, so I guess it all fits. Huh? Is barreling his way forward to the 36-yard line. That'll bring up fourth down, a 14-yard run. Head and Shoulders post-game report with Lampley and Ditka with the scores and highlights today and sorting out this mid-season action. Bears spend another timeout. Just under 3 minutes to go. The Raiders in the lead. Fourth down. Gossett to punt. He has not been blocked this year. They go after him, but not close. Sends a high short kick. Fair catch by Obi at his 34-yard line. And Dan Land walking all over him. The fans want a penalty. One was called against Chicago in the first half in those circumstances. So change of possession. Timeout. 2:52 remaining in the final. 2:52 in the fourth period. The Raiders leading 16-7. Los Angeles trying to move up to a 5-3 record. Denver is 5-3 with their win in Cleveland, and Kansas City needs a win tomorrow night to stay atop the West of the American Conference. Harbaugh at his own 34 has one timeout plus the 2-minute warning. Needs a couple of possessions and a quick strike. Anderson with him in the backfield. He gets Waddle on the sidelines, and James Trapp bumps him out of bounds right at the sticks.
And Dick, Anthony Smith almost got Harbaugh there. Now this is where the Chicago Bears need protection for the quarterback. He's going to have the deep drops here, so this is where it's going to be tough for Harbaugh to stand there and look down the field.
Watch 94 Anthony Smith. He has 11 sacks, and that's playing primarily only in passing situations as he is now. He's after him and is pinched off. And Harbaugh has to to throw it away as Torn Dorn comes up from the secondary. Part of the dime package to put the pressure on. Jets continue to lead Miami.
There's Torn Dorn. Actually, this is a pretty good job of pass protection by the Bears. Quarterbacks get clocks in their head, and they know how long they can stand there before they got to move, and that's exactly what Torn Dorn was there to do.
2:39 to go. 3rd down and a short yard. So they'll get the first down. No, they'll lose a yard on the play as number 52, Mike Jones, shoots in from a linebacker position to help out Chester McLaughlin.
Goodness.
So now they have to get at least a couple of yards. A 4th down and 2 to maintain possession. 2:21. Harbaugh underneath. And that might be just enough as Jones drills the receiver. It was Anderson.
Well, that is awful close, Dick.
They'll call time to measure, and that'll stop the clock for Chicago at 2:12.
The far side change, or the official change, this half.
They've got it based on that.
This would be a shame if they don't have it. Oh, they do big time.
So Harbaugh will hurry his team up to the line of scrimmage, try to get into play, maybe 2 before the 2-minute warning. He throws incomplete, intended for the tight end Ryan Wetnight, the rookie from Stanford. But he gets another play before the 2-minute warning. Well, it's been a game that has not featured any brilliant big plays. I guess the biggest of all in this outcome would be the Raiders' defensive steal, as we sort things out in that regard for the play of the game. Eddie Anderson in the first half. Harbaugh still looking for 5 yards to reach 100 for the day and doesn't get it there to Waddle. And at 1:57, the 2-minute timeout, the Bears trailing by 9 at Soldier Field with 1:57 to go. If the Raiders win, this would be a look at the AFC West going into tomorrow. Kansas City hosting Green Bay tomorrow night. We well could have a 3-way tie for first in the West. And next Sunday, we will be at the Coliseum in Los Angeles as the Chiefs and Raiders, one of the top fights in the league, rivalries. That's the word that came out because there have been plenty of them. And the Raiders have already lost at Kansas City, and that'll be one of our feature games next Sunday. There's our lineup on NBC. But Harbaugh looking for something special here. A big play and maybe an onside kick, and they'll get a penalty from Howie Long unless he was drawn offside. Howie is quick, always has been, getting off the ball any defensive lineman in football.
Encroachment, 75 defense before the snap, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Last night he told us he's in his zone. He's just looking for movement, and any movement, unfortunately.
Yeah, just a little bob of the head. Harbaugh got him that time, and he must have tremendous peripheral vision because he just said, I just react. I see so much around me. Harbaugh, the Waddle, right into a crunching tackle by Derek Hoskins. And Waddle not getting up too quickly.
Remember, it's already been out once. We got a knee to the head.
That was what
Bulldog right here. Yeah, because of an injury, they're charged the timeout.
So that'll be the last timeout for the Bears.
You know, Dick, you mentioned it. Next week, the best fight between Kansas City and LA. Are huddles important in that game next week? I mean, just to break up fights, they are really important next week.
Waddle, 185 pounds, a tough little guy, Boston College. Time now for the Hager wrinkle-free cotton super play of the game, and this was the biggest play. Eddie Anderson, it looked as if Curtis Conway, the rookie, was free down the sidelines, but Anderson, reading it, drifts over from his safety position, returns it all the way to the 1-yard line, and one play later, Napoleon McCallum would score the Raiders' only touchdown. So no timeouts left for Harbaugh. 1:46 to go. Christian in the backfield now with Anderson. Harbaugh to Christian. Tackled by Jones. What a job by Christian to drag him out of bounds and stop the clock. That was a heck of an effort by this 11th round pick by Atlanta a couple of years ago.
Yeah, the rule is here, you don't fight for inches, you try to save seconds.
Head and Shoulders post-game report, time permitting, with Messrs. Lampley and Ditka with the scores and highlights soon as we hear the final gun. Harbaugh had only 8 yards passing in the first half. Things improved somewhat here in the second. They've had one big drive, but that's been basically it. Howie Long passing Harbaugh, who has to throw it away, and the flag goes down.
I think the penalty probably was on Howie again. They just have a 3-man rush, so Howie's right there staring at the football.
Offside, 75 Chicago. 5 yards, repeat, second down.
That's offside Los Angeles.
Raiders now moving right up to their average, 73 yards in penalties today. Their average 87.7, way out in the lead in the NFL.
You're not supposed to win when you're penalized that much either. You know that? The Raiders have always been penalized heavily, and they still win.
Fred Banks in the game as a 4th wide receiver, and Harbaugh throws down the middle to Banks. And a first down at the 13-yard line. Banks released by the Miami Dolphins a week ago.
Now the automatic play. Everybody knows what it is. He's just going to throw the ball down.
1:18 to go. So a quick touchdown here. Onside kick. Maybe Kevin Butler will get a chance to make amends. Well, listen, in this town, you can talk like that. I listened to Harry Carey going way back, and I can remember Harry when teams would be down 8-0 and 2 outs in the ninth. There's a couple of errors, a couple of bunt hits, 3 or 4 walks, a home run, and we're right back in, Harbaugh. Obi, touchdown. Terry Obi, second touchdown catch of the season. They beat James Trapp, the rookie on the corner. 13-yard play. Well thrown.
That's just Harbaugh's 5th touchdown thrown this season, and if nothing else, the Chicago Bear football team, with all of its problems, again today, shows great character, perseverance. They're not about to give up.
And now how big was Butler's 20-yard miss when they had the ball on the 4-yard line? It's now 16-14. It could be a Bears lead 17-16. And now time for the onside kick.
This is the fade pattern. Trapp is the man in coverage, a young man, and Obi does a great job of getting around him. Now Trapp is another one of those speedsters of the Los Angeles Raiders. Beautifully thrown by Harbaugh. He puts enough arc in the ball, and it's going to be so much in favor of the Raiders. Surprising it's just a 2-point lead and could be a 1-point deficit if Butler makes that kick. You're right.
So Gardocki has it teed up, and the Raiders overload to this side. And it's loose, and the Bears have it at the 49-yard line. Oh my! Poorly done by the Raiders. They just seem to be waiting for someone else to go after it.
But the guys go up front and block. The first one is Lionel Washington, 48, who goes after it, and then Tim Brown can't get to it. And I did not pick up the Bear who made the recovery.
I tell you what, there were a couple of Bears coaches and players on the sidelines that had to restrain themselves. They wanted to dive in and cover it themselves. But here is a chance for a miracle finish, and Kevin Butler might yet have a chance to win it for Chicago. This year kicked his career-long 55, and he'll have the wind at his back if he gets a chance. Remember, no timeouts left for Chicago. They need to get it down to around the 30 for a legitimate try. 21 yards. Harbaugh on a draw. All the way to the 25-yard line, and a flag goes down, and it could be a penalty as well.
Howie Long has him by the shirt. Can't hang on.
And where are those fans that were booing Harbaugh earlier? He has positioned his team with a touchdown throw and that run well in field goal range. 1:03 to go.
Dick, I think now you just play 2 downs right in the line of scrimmage, take no chance whatsoever, and get Butler out there to redeem himself.
25-yard run, and then the penalty takes it to the 12-yard line. It would appear to be a cinched field goal, but it was shorter than that for Butler when he missed when the line of scrimmage was the 4. Give it to Anderson, and he's drilled by Joe Kelly. They knew that ball was coming straight down the middle as they set it up for Butler. It's a matter of whether he likes it in the middle or the left or the right hash mark. And the clock will run, and the Raiders aren't going to stop it.
Now, Butler's in Wanstead's all the time, standing right next to him, telling which way the wind is. So you just asked the question. Butler just told Wanstead where he wanted it, left or right.
He's a meteorologist. He knows the winds and the drifts and the grass and the temperature and everything, how it affects his kicking. And Wanstead said he keeps me apprised. This is just a kneel down for Harbaugh.
They wanted him to throw the ball down to stop the clock.
Oh, now the clock is running, and this could be disastrous for the Bears. They may not get a chance to kick the field goal.
The Raiders just kicked the ball away.
And that will allow the official to stop the clock. And if the Bears are smart, they've got to get somebody in there. Now, they do have time to take a snap and down the ball with 5 seconds. Oh, my. He better hurry. 1 second to go.
Goodness.
1 second to go, and they were fortunate to have the down, and here comes Butler.
Oh, my goodness.
And the incredible finishes of the Raiders this season are a book in themselves. 1 second, the final play of the game, and the Raiders will try to cool off Butler, make him think about his miss the last time, and you can be sure some of those big guys up front are going to be talking as loud as they can to remind Butler that he was wide left on a very short chance. Unbelievable.
Remember, at the end of the first half, the Chicago Bears had 47 total yards.
And the Raiders had some good drives, but always settling for field goals. Their only touchdown came on a 1-yard drive after the interception by Anderson. The onside kick successful. Regardless what happens here, they'll be talking about all week here in the Windy City. Butler, wind at his back. It's a 30-yard attempt for victory. And to erase the ugliness of an earlier miss. He missed to the left. Oh, my.
That was a high snap, Dick.
And the Raiders are going to hurry and get on the bus before someone changes the mind of this game. Butler from 20 and from 30, 2 misses from a man who had hit 24 in a row inside the 40-yard line. Oh, the pain in the body of that man, Kevin Butler.
But I'm not sure you can blame it on Kevin Butler. That was a high snap. Gardocki, the punter, did a great job to get it down. It just threw up the timing of the kicker ever so slightly.
Art Shell and the Raiders
You see how high the snap was? It was over Gardaki's head. He actually does a good job of getting the ball down on the ground.
Threw off the timing, perhaps, of Butler.
Actually, the spot looks pretty good, but if the timing is off and the kicker sees the holder go up at it, it just... And no.
So Dave Wannstedt, his team valiantly coming back. Looked good from that angle. Couldn't see the width. And now have to pretend that, well, we got another week. We got to be positive. We did some good things and we came back. And Art Shell, wide-eyed, can't believe that he escaped the noose today. His team flirting with defeat down to the final seconds. 16-14, the Raiders. Bears see the Raiders win it 16-14. Head and Shoulders NFL Live post-game report to follow for Bob Trumpy. This is Dick Enberg. So long from Chicago.
Welcome back to the studio. Jim Lampley with Mike Ditka. Many of you just saw the dramatic finish of the Bears-Raiders game. Kevin Butler missing the field goal as time expired, which would have given the Bears the victory. I say, Mike, that's the reason you love being in the studio with me. You didn't have to stand there and watch it as coach.
Well, I think nobody feels worse than Kevin, but I tell you what, Dave Wannstedt just aged about 10 years, and that's a tragedy of the game. I mean, they had two great opportunities to win the football game. They played well. They didn't win it. You got to look for next week. That's all you can do.
On the other hand, in Wannstedt's favor, his team hung in and played a gutty game, just didn't take advantage of the opportunity. Don't forget next Saturday on NBC, #1 Florida State against #2 Notre Dame at 1:30 Eastern Time. And coming up tonight on NBC.